I was barreling down the streets of Chelsea, knocking models and influencers out of my way because I had somewhere to be. It was my first ever fashion week, and I was going to be attending my first ever fashion show ever. Also, coincidentally, it was on my birthday. But in that moment, I wasn't focused on the different celebrities that I was darting around or all of the other shows that were happening right then. And that was because I needed to get to this show by 2 p.m. It was 1:45, and my presence was necessary. And that's something that I've never really experienced before, having to be sitting there at a fashion show and make sure that I was there as a representative. But in a way, that's just a day in the life as a Cosmo intern. Hi, my name is Juliana Kaplan. I'm a senior here at Barnard. I'm an English major with a concentration in creative writing, and I'm currently working as an editorial intern at Cosmopolitan magazine, which I've been doing all semester. Throughout my time at Barnard and as an English major, as a creative writing concentrator, I've held several different media internships, and these have ranged from being in much bigger newsrooms to much smaller ones, all with different types of focus: print, digital, combined print, digital. And I think from all of them, I've gotten really valuable skills, things that have really helped me grow as a writer, as an intern, as an employee. But to me, Cosmopolitan has really stood out above the rest. And not just because I'm able to go to Fashion Week, although that was pretty cool. And I got a free t-shirt. So that was pretty exciting as well. At Cosmopolitan, I think I've really learned how to pursue the projects that I am passionate about, and being in this particular environment has allowed me to self-advocate for myself and the work that I want to be doing, far more so than anywhere else I've experienced. And this comes in the form of everything from packing up 200 books into cardboard boxes to ship to a women's shelter downtown, to working on giant research profiles that will inform millions of our readers. So the day in the life of a Cosmo intern is not always Fashion Week, although that would be pretty fun. I've had days where I've had to run around the office and clean off a bar cart for a video shoot, or I've had to help us assemble new furniture because we were doing an office redesign and we were going to have video coming in soon and have top editors coming in soon. As I mentioned, I once packed up about 200 to 300 books into cardboard boxes to make sure that they were getting where they were going by the end of the day, which was pretty stressful, I'm not gonna lie. And I've done everything from running to the Whole Foods in Columbus Circle to make sure that everyone gets the exact berries that they want, to ordering 11 bottles of champagne to celebrate a cover launch. So not all of it is glitz and glamour, and not all of it is sitting down and writing my magnum opus. That being said, I think that these experiences have been some of the most foundational parts of what I've taken away from Cosmo and what I've learned from interning there. And I'll explain why. So I mentioned that I'm taking on bigger projects, and these are the things that I'm really passionate about, the things that I hoped I would be doing as a writer and as an editor someday. But I think that these are inextricably linked to the different types of work I've been doing at Cosmo. Because what I've learned at Cosmo is making myself invaluable has allowed me to self-advocate for the projects and the things that I want to be pursuing. So when I show that I am willing to pack up all those books, to assemble that scalloped chair, all of those things have really signified to the other people at Cosmo, to my editors, to my supervisors, even to the editor-in-chief herself, that I am really willing to put in the work, that I am a hard worker, I'm flexible, and I understand all the different things that go into making a magazine. And I think perhaps The Devil Wears Prada has skewed people's image of the magazine lifestyle somewhat, but it really is some days like running around getting as many interviews and as quotes as you can, and other days it's sitting around and helping build polls about what people are interested in their group texts and whether they answer group messages or not, and helping gather that data. It's a huge wide variety of things, and my day-to-day can really dramatically vary from looking at influencers on Instagram who might be fun to collaborate with, to doing really intense in-depth research on a particular activist that we're hoping to profile. So how do all of these things come together, and how do these menial tasks kind of figure into that? As I said before, I really showcased that I'm a hard worker and that I'm willing to get the work done. But I think what really has set Cosmo apart for me, particularly in my role as an intern, is how I've seen that paid forward, or I guess more accurately, how I've seen that translate into opportunities for myself. I think what's really hard coming in as an intern to any space, particularly at Barnard, we're taught we're incredible thinkers, we're incredible writers, we're incredible presenters, we're incredible learners, and that I think sometimes we assume perhaps we're the most important person in the room, which is not to say that you're not. But when you come in as an intern to any organization, you're simply not the most important person in the room. But I think that being really cognizant of that has been really important in my development as an intern and everywhere that I've worked, but that at Cosmo in particular, when I've shown my willingness to complete these small tasks, whatever ridiculous things come up, whether it's taking pictures of the bathroom for our redesign, or helping clean up a really ugly shag carpet that we used for a video shoot, the editors and my bosses have really seen that work. And for every one menial task I've done, I've gotten at least twice as many really significant things that I want to work on and that I'm going to be able to really spearhead. So, you know, perhaps I did spend one day in the office unpacking all of the tissues around the office to make sure everyone got the tissue boxes that they needed, but because I'm willing to be that flexible and to put in that work, I've also gotten the opportunity to do really in-depth research on how many low-income women in New York have access to reproductive health care and why the numbers look the way that they do. I recently wrote a spread that is a write-up of every single candidate in the Democratic 2020 primary, breaking down their different issues, that's going to go out to our whole Cosmo readership. So anytime anybody who's reading cosmopolitan.com, and there's about 40 million reading each month, goes to learn about their favorite candidates or what our takes on it are, that's a project that I've created, and that's something I'm really, really proud of. I think that being able to establish that really strong base of hard work has been really, really crucial in helping me advocate for myself. And that's where this aspect of self-advocacy comes in. Because my editors at Cosmo have shown that because I've proven myself as a hard worker, I have not necessarily earned, but I have worked towards the ability to advocate and say, this is a project I'd really like to work on. This is research I'd really like to work on. How can I help out on this, and how can I make myself invaluable here? And they've been really receptive and open to that, and have allowed me to grow in that way. So for instance, you know, one day after I think it was the day that I was loading up the boxes and had proven that I was really ready to, again, load all 200 of these books into like 5 giant boxes, my editors assigned me my own beat to cover, which is a pretty incredible thing to have as an intern, to have something that I'm completely responsible for the coverage of, and not something that I take lightly. So, you know, as I said, it's not always glitz and glamour. There's a whole wide variety of things that need to get done. But I think that as somebody hoping to go into media, I definitely have a much deeper understanding of all of the different, often surprising things that go into making sure we get a really cohesive final product. I think I've learned what it means to make myself invaluable as an intern, as an employee. And I know I've also really dramatically strengthened my interview skills, my research skills, my writing skills. And I think that all of these are because of the whole of my internship experience. I now feel comfortable advocating for myself and working towards the projects that I want to be creating in a postgraduate future. So yes, you know, sometimes it is me helping out the editor-in-chief and sitting in on meetings and helping pitch articles, and other times it's helping clean up spaces after we had all of the head honchos in there. It really is a wildly variable day-to-day, but I really wouldn't trade it for anywhere else. So it's been really incredible to have this opportunity to be able to work with Beyond Barnard on that opportunity, and to have the ability to really be there and be fully engaged as both a student and as an intern. So yes, you know, sometimes I'm going to Fashion Week, other days I'm assembling a bookcase, but both are incredibly valuable. And I think for me, that's really been the sum of my experience at Cosmo.